Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joelle Simone Anthony. I am also known as the Grave Woman, and I'm just so happy that you're here. If this is your first time here, please do not forget to hit the subscription button as well as the notification bell so that you'll be updated anytime I upload new content. I am so excited today because this is the first interview I've done in a very long time. And it is with my mentor in funeral service and in business, Miss Anita Pollard Grant. Thank you so much for joining me today, Anita. How are you?
Thanks, Joelle. Thanks for that wonderful introduction. I am doing very, very well. Thank you.
So you are my mentor in real life, but in the social media and digital world, you are known as the National Board Review Coach. And for those of you who may be watching that don't know what the National Board exam is, it's the exam that we all have to take to become licensed funeral directors here in the United States. So, Anita, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us why you're called the National Board Exam Coach?
Absolutely. So as you have stated, my name is Anita Pollard Grant. By licensure and degree, I am a master's prepared registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for over 28 years. I am currently active duty in one of the uniformed services in our country and have served both in the United States Navy and the United States Public Health Service Commissioned Corps. And several years ago, I attended mortuary school and graduated, completed my apprenticeship. I have experience in being an adjunct professor in a mortuary science program. And several years ago, in response to my clients in tutoring, my clients' challenges on the National Board exam, I was determined to find a way to support those individuals to success. So that is indeed what we do. As the National Board exam, I'm told I'm the GOAT or the greatest of all times. I don't know how true that is, but I'll accept it. I think that's pretty endearing. But really, our goal is to support professionals who have had challenges in passing that licensure exam. And so we have a tremendous track record, which we're very proud of. And we are very thankful to those professionals who trust us on that licensure journey. And so that is indeed what we do. We are the only provider of those virtual and live review courses in the country.
That is so amazing. And if you've been watching this channel anytime for any length of time, you'll know that I've shared the story of how I actually failed part of the National Board exam or funeral conference 3 times. And it wasn't because I wasn't studying. It wasn't because I didn't know the information. I just had so much anxiety around this test. And each time that I would take it and fail it, it made me feel like maybe I wasn't good enough to be a professional in this industry. So can you talk a little bit about the anxiety that your students feel and what you've done to kind of help them get over that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I appreciate your transparency, Joelle, and just sharing that very personal story with your audience, because that is indeed one of the challenges that we hear from our clients when we do our discovery calls, when we do our assessment of those amazing professionals who are smart, who are bright, who have completed with high marks and academic accolades their mortuary science and funeral service programs. When they are not successful, it is so traumatic because these individuals have poured themselves into their academic programs. They have, in many cases, done this for all of their adult lives. You know, they have those shares and testimonials of having been sort of reared in a funeral home or reared in a crematory, and to get to that national exam, which is a requirement. It is a major milestone. You have to complete that with success. And so I say to individuals, I'm as much an academic educator of content as I am a counselor and a motivator, because when individuals have had multiple unsuccessful attempts, it has an impact emotionally and psychologically. So I have to sort of get in there and cheer them on and build their confidence. So in relationship and to your question about the anxiety, we have an amazing consultant that has worked with us from day one. And he is an amazing motivator and very strategically identifies through an inventory and skills assessment what type of learner our clients are, so that we can ensure that if it's kinesthetic, we gear our program and our approach around those types of opportunities for learning. If it's someone that's more an auditory learner or more of a someone that reads and needs to have it just written, we are very mindful. As educators, adult learners have to have that sort of engagement. And so we have been very, very fortunate to have him as a part of our team. So we address the anxiety head on. It's not like you can just say, oh, deal with it or get over it. It's a reality. We were made to respond that way, right? We know anatomy and physiology, so we created that way. So it's not enough to just say, oh, well, do something or deal with it and just be sort of off the cuff. We need to address it, and we need to be able to put it in a way that it is to our advantage and not our disadvantage. So yeah, so we're excited about
wonderful.
that. Mm-hmm.
That's so wonderful. And another aspect that people may not realize is that the national board exam is not free. It's very expensive. I paid $350 two times and $400 once.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's very expensive, and it takes a couple of hours. So every time you go, it's almost like you have to dedicate half a day to just getting to the testing facility, and just all of that combined with the price. It's an overwhelming and challenging process for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So I want to know a little bit more in specific about what exactly is it that you do. I know you have some private training, some corporate training, and some group training, and you've also created an amazing tool for people that are studying for the exam. So can you tell us a little bit about all of those?
Absolutely. So again, we've been in the official business of coaching for National Board Exam Success for 2 years. Actually, this month, April, it's April 2021. And we launched our first course. It was a 3-day course, which we still offer. So currently we offer 3-day intensive courses for the arts exam and separately for the science. So the arts would be individuals who are sitting for a funeral director only exam, and the science 3-day intensive is designed for those individuals that are sitting for the science or embalmers exam. Again, those are separate courses. That was sort of our inaugural kind of, just tipping our toe or stepping our toe in this whole world of education and exam prep courses. We have since that time added on an 8-week course, and we call that a group coaching tutoring course. And that sort of came about by customer and client feedback, really. Individuals telling us that they felt that the 3-day was intensive. It definitely met the kind of the name. And because of that, they wanted more time with the content and with us as instructors. And so that is designed so that it covers the same material. Obviously, we're able to go a little bit deeper in the content, slow it down. And because it's 90 minutes each week for 8 consecutive weeks, we have an added component where all of the registrants to that course actually receive a 56-day calendar. So there's no guessing to what you should be reviewing. It is literally spelled out every day with the time kind of blocks. If we want you to study that or suggest it, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes on different content components. And so we have found that to be very effective. And what I always encourage individuals that inquire about our services is, if you don't have the time, please don't invest, because it's only as good as us bringing our A game when we're sharing the didactic and that 90-minute engagement but it really does require commitment to go back and spend either, anywhere from 90 to 120 minutes for those other 6 days with the content. And so I jokingly say, if you are expecting, an adoption or a birth of a baby, if you're building a crematory, if you're expanding your funeral home, if you're moving from one home to another or in a major contract deal, that's probably not the time to take our course. Ideally, individuals that invest in our course should commit to taking the national board exam within 3 weeks of the last day of class. And so there is we've researched it enough. We've sort of, looked at just, again, other standardized tests that people take and what that sort of height of retention is and where that drops off. And so again, if your time frame doesn't match the completing exam and when you are in that 90-day window from your last exam, in the cases of those that have not been successful, please look at a future date, because we want you to invest and have success, because your success is our success. We are not in it to just have people enroll and not have success. And so we sort of provide that guidance so that people know what would be their best choice. So that, again, that's sort of what we have in terms of our courses, national board exam courses. We do get inquiries from individuals about state board exams. And so what I say, and I'll say it here, is that we don't have a specific design state board for obvious reasons. There's 50 of them and we aren't large enough. And I don't know that even as we grow, we would want to do that necessarily, but we have coached people who have taken the state board exam, but they've taken our national board, because remember, the conference, the International Conference for Funeral Service Examining Boards, they're the keepers of state board exams as well. You go on that same site, which it kind of links you to Pearson VUE, and you're registering. And so they're the keepers of those tests as well. So in theory, if you take our national board, there's a natural segue to the content, the same itemized questions, the same question content breakdown. And so you are in a good place, even enrolling in our national board exam courses. Other products, we have recently in the last 6 months launched terminology flashcards, which we're super excited. They are index cards that have the terms and the definitions that are recommended by the American Board of Funeral Service Education. So ABFSC is sort of the parent body that accredits all of the 57 or 59 funeral service programs around the country. So they have a list of terms for embalmers and for funeral directors that you should know, not only for the exam, but these are terms and definitions that we should know throughout our matriculation through school. So our terminology cards come in decks and can be purchased separately. There's about 1,400 terms for the science exam and about 1,500 terms for the funeral director's exam. And we sell those kits. They're nice 3x5 index cards. And we're just super, super excited to be able to offer it. To our knowledge, we're the only vendor that offers that product. And so we really have gotten amazing feedback from individuals who have invested in that resource. And we hope that it will continue to have a positive impact. I tell individuals all the time, and I work services and I'm out there on the weekends mainly. And so I know, we get set up in our chapel or get set up in the church for a church service or memorial service. And there's a lot of lag time in between when we are finished setting up and when the family might arrive, or when the visitors and supporters might come into the facility. And so in that 20 minutes, you could be rolling through 20 flashcards, because you can put them in your breast pocket or in your pant pocket or skirt pocket, and you can grab. I tell clients all the time, there's no downtime. You need to grab those 20 minutes. I live in the DMV. We sit in traffic for an hour. And if you're in a large metropolitan area, you can have your flashcards there and you can go through 100 terms or whatever. You can work out if it's not an intensive aerobic activity. If you can read a book on the treadmill or on that, stationary bike, my theory is you can be rolling through some definitions. And so we can be creative as to how we do that, and just capitalize on the time, because all of us are juggling. And the concept of those flashcards really are sort of old school. It takes us back to stuff that we know is evidence-based learning. I mean, it worked for us in high school. Most of us had it in college, and we're just bringing it to the forefront and saying, this is another way that you can use your time wisely and make sure you have those foundational definitions and terms. Why? Because what we know on the exam is that 50% of the questions are recall questions. And that the board tells us that. Yep. And so I tell individuals all the time, if you know your definitions, you are in an excellent position to do well on those recall questions. And then that sort of carries over to the comprehension. It carries over to the analysis, because how can you even make an estimated guess at a question if you don't know the context? And the context is the definition, the root word. And so it's really, really important that individuals have a command of those terms. It's important for the exam, but it's important for our careers. And so that's another product that we certainly want to share. And then we have some nice things that help us feel good, and some good smells and good treats. So we have a spa box for our industry females, and we have a bro box for others that would want to invest in that. And they come with a customized card. If you are a funeral assistant, if you are transportation, part of our industry, if you're a funeral service or funeral licensee in terms of director or a mortician, the customized card is designed for that. And then there are, items in there that just sort of treat us, because we are in a very demanding profession, and we give a lot, and sometimes it's just nice to be pampered. And so we have those available on our online store site as well. And so, we're forever expanding. We have a couple more things that will be coming out in the summer. And we're just very, very grateful for the feedback from those of you that have invested in those products and services.
That is absolutely amazing. I just wanted to show everybody your flashcards. I have them here. And let me tell you guys, I could not find my bag of flashcards. I dug it out for the video that Little Miss Funeral and I did together, where we gave away your box. But I have a bag of flashcards that I had to actually hand write each and every term. It was probably more than 1,500, to be honest with you, from mortuary school. And I wish that when I was in mortuary school and studying for the national board exam, number one, that I knew, or that your services existed. And number two, that this resource was available. I think that every single mortuary science or funeral service student in the country needs to have this as a part of their package as a student, that the schools need to reach out to you and get them in the hands of every single student. So I'm putting that out in the universe.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Joelle. That is a goal. I would love to have that opportunity to indeed provide those boxes in those bookstores, and or for those programs that just supply a resource packet to start a student off, or at some point in the matriculation. We would love to have them include those flashcards, because we know that it will benefit them tremendously. If time is not our friend in terms of studying, I would rather you focus on some other components of the academic process, or exams, or your whatever the outlines that your instructors have provided, as opposed to sitting down and writing out by hand 1,500 index cards. Your time is well spent studying them, but not necessarily writing them.
Writing them out.
Yeah. And so, to your point, it is an excellent resource. And I know I'm biased, but it's an excellent resource.
It is. I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah.
So before we go, I have a box here, and Anita was kind enough to give away this box to someone watching this video. So in order to enter to win this box, which includes both sets, both the arts and the science definition flashcards, all you have to do is comment below and tell us why you need this study resource. I will reach out to you directly when we select a winner and make sure that you receive this box. And in addition to this, I would also like to give away one of each of your gift baskets. If you're a student, I'm going to choose one female winner and one male winner to receive one of Anita's gift baskets. Can you tell us about where we can find you? I know you just launched your YouTube channel. So can you give us that along with your website and your social media information?
Yes, awesome. So on social media, I'm NBE Review Coach, NBE Review Coach. That's on YouTube. That's on Instagram, of course, with no spaces, and on Facebook. And our online store is http://nbereviewcoach.square.site. Again, it's nbereviewcoach.square.site. And again, you can have a look at all of our services in terms of upcoming courses, as well as all of the products that we mentioned today.
And I'm going to list
thank you, Joelle.
Oh, no
problem. Thank you so much for your willingness to support students with the Bro Box and the other Spa Box. That's amazing. How kind.
No problem. And your YouTube channel, you just launched your YouTube channel.
Yes. So we just launched our YouTube channel like this week, I think. We put up putting up our first video, and that's NBE Review Coach as well. So thank you for mentioning that. And we're asking everyone, all of Joelle's followers or community, to please go over there and support us. We have some amazing videos that we're uploading and sharing. And you all, our content really is focused on the national board exam. We pour a lot into the information that we share, tips and different perspectives on how you might want to frame some of the information that's more challenging than not. We have amazing interviews with individuals who have experience with testing, and we have amazing interviews with our clients who are willing to share some of their testimonies. Of course, nothing is specific to exam content or questions because we've all signed that NDA as a part of our testing, but just their testimonies, which I think are very encouraging to those of you who have had challenges in school or having challenges in school, and for those that have had multiple attempts at the exam especially. Very encouraging to just let you know you're not alone. I think that is one of the major concerns that I have, is that people feel like they're alone. We've had clients, and let me just say this, never give up. I always hear from professionals that, they feel it is a calling or it is a part of their ministry, whatever you sort of want to frame it and words that you want to use. And if you feel that passionate about this profession, which most of us do, why would you give up because of a national exam? You need to exhaust all resources. And I challenge people, sometimes people aren't in a position or don't want to invest in coaching services. But I would say until you have exhausted everything, you cannot give up. And I know you don't know me from anybody else, those of you watching in Joelle's community, but just process that a little bit. Why would you give up until you've exhausted everything? And you've not exhausted everything, because some of you have never met me. And there are other coaches perhaps out there that you want to consider, but you can't give up. Like, you made it through your academic program. You were smart, you were bright, you were qualified. And this cannot be the reason why you give up completely on this profession. We've had clients that have been years, 10, 12, 14, 20 years out of school. And they have said, Miss Grant or Miss Anita or Anita, I am not giving up. I'm going to trust you to get me across the finish line. And I am grateful. I am forever grateful that individuals would make that step and be that vulnerable. There's a vulnerability in that. But if that's your calling in life, we cannot allow this exam to stop that calling and in any way make you not be autonomous, because you have to have licensure to be in the industry, independent provider. And so again, I'm just grateful to be in a space to support professionals.
Yeah. And I mean, as long as you keep your license up, once you pass that test, you never have to take this test again.
Absolutely.
So like you said, you said it so beautifully. Don't give up and exhaust every option. And happy 2-year anniversary to your business.
Thank you.
Thank
And I
you.
would also want to thank professionals who are licensed. A lot of our supporters come from, funeral home owners, crematory owners, cemetery owners who are mentoring. As you said, Joelle, I'm very blessed to be your professional mentor in funeral service, or one of yours. But there are others out there that we hear from. Thank you all as well for supporting those in your circle, because you have been there. We've all been there, and you're not allowing those individuals to give up. You're finding these resources that those individuals can avail. And we've even had owners to invest and pay on behalf of their staff. That's amazing. What a gift, because they know that those individuals are great at what they do, and they are ensuring that they don't give up. And so we want to thank you all as well for making those investments and reaching out to us.
Yes. And thank you for everything that you do for me behind the scenes, and your mentorship and just our relationship. I tell you all the time, I love you, and I'm just so grateful God connected us. You're awesome.
Well. Yes. Well, you're an amazing professional in your own right. And so it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to be in that space for such a time as this. So thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to put all of Anita's contact information in the description box. If you would like to enter to win either the NBE terminology flashcards, or her bro box, or the box for the ladies that contains self-care items and just items that make us feel good and help us care for ourselves as death care professionals, put your name down below. You have to be either a mortuary student or someone who is needing to pass the national board exam for the terminology cards, and you must be a mortuary student, and just reply with your reasoning for desiring the box below. We'll choose a winner, and I will contact you directly in the comments to get your mailing information so that we can send everything out to you. Thank you again, Anita, for joining me today. Live life, love hard, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.